We're going to go ahead and try to bring in our next guest, John Lyman. He is the fire and life safety educator over at the Rochester Hills Fire Department. John, great to have you with us.
Good morning, Ronnie.
So we're trying to see if we can actually get you with a Zoom. If not, or if we start to have a few slowdowns or drags, then we'll just go ahead and take your audio, okay?
That sounds good.
Well, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
How are things over at the Rochester Hills Fire Department?
We are a very busy department, but we're doing well, serving our residents.
So right now, are your calls up or down? Because I'm thinking so many more people are at home now. So that means they're using their appliances more, the dishwasher, the laundry, things of that nature. Has that led to an increase in the calls for you and members of your team over there at the fire department?
Great question, Ronnie. Yeah, actually, our call volume is down just a slight from previous years. When COVID started earlier in 2020, we definitely saw a reduction in calls. People were nervous about calling 911 and obviously going into the hospital. So with regards to people staying home, we were anticipating an increase in even fire calls because people would be home cooking more. Obviously, you were talking about dining out. I'm so excited about being able to go out and dine today. But we were anticipating that. We put some social media information out to our residents through Facebook and through our website, and we didn't really see it. We did not see an influx in calls for fires with more people staying home.
That is good, because I will say, I feel like I'm running my dishwasher every single day now, whereas before it'd be once every few days, right?
Same back here, yeah.
And what about calls because of accidents? Because not as many people on the roads right now.
Yeah, I think we've definitely seen a decrease in automobile accidents because of that. Yeah, our freeway, M59 goes to in the south end of the city, and we're not seeing nearly the accident calls that we used to.
See, so there is some benefits to COVID-19 and the pandemic. Have you been able to get the vaccine yet?
No, I have not got the vaccine yet. Many of our guys have. I have chosen not to at this point.
Have any of them had any side effects, or just pretty much what's been reported?
No side effects at all. That's put them out. The what we're hearing through the media about the sore arm. That's about it.
So John Lyman with us here on the MegaCast. He's the fire and life safety educator over at the Rochester Hills Fire Department. Recently, your fire department was one of 250 fire departments across the entire country that was picked up for a pilot program, which is the National Risk Assessment. What exactly is this?
Yeah, so community risk reduction is kind of the buzzword in the fire service right now. And what we're doing is we're creating an assessment of our city to identify risks and prioritizing those risks, and then creating some programs to work to minimize those risks. So we've been selected to be a part of the sidewalk dashboard. Honestly, I don't know too much about it quite yet, but I know they're going to take some of our data that we've gathered and some dispatch data, and they will put that together for us and help with mapping of risk and trying to get our community risk assessment solid for our residents.
So is this something like maybe to help track where accidents are happening? So, kind of taking another look at that area. Okay, if we have so many accidents here, then maybe we need to change the flow of the roadway or something of that nature. Is that kind of the gist?
Yes, it could be something like that. Definitely, yeah. We're looking at all different types of risk in our area, and the types of types of calls that we go on, and that's how we're identifying what risk is.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like for someone such as yourself with your training. When you go out, Are you looking and you're like, that's wrong, that's not good, this could happen, that could happen? What's it
Oh,
like day by day
yes,
for you?
absolutely. I mean, when I go out as the fire and life safety educator, so I'm putting smoke alarms in people's homes and checking batteries. But I will be honest with you, and I've done this my whole career. One of the first things I do is look at your stove. I want to know if there's anything on your stove that's combustible, anything that can burn.
Wow. So it completely changes how you live your life, right?
It does, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it bleeds off at home. I've trained my kids. We unplug our toaster, we unplug our coffee maker. Um, yeah, that's just a way of life as a firefighter. Sure.
Wow. Talk a little bit more too about you're the fire and life safety educator, as you just said. So, what does that mean? Because I know a lot of firefighters, and I know none of them that have this title.
Yeah. So my job, my biggest job, of course, with COVID, it slowed that down to nothing, basically almost. Is I'm going into schools and talking with kids about fire safety, and we target certain grades, the younger grades, and I'm also in the senior homes and talking about the big call there is fall call. So people fall, slip and fall. We respond on those a lot. Um, so my job is to try to educate those people, the kids, the adults, to be fire safe, to be fall safe. It's a very unique role here in Oakland County is my role.
So, what are some of the things that we should be looking at other than our
Well,
smoke detectors? We're all pretty much aware of that.
yeah, you'd be surprised how many homes, what I found here in Rochester Hills, how many homes have older smoke alarms. And we are looking at swapping smoke alarms out every 10 years with 10-year batteries, or if you can get the electric ones, if you already have the electric wiring. But having proper smoke alarms, I'm installing one inside every bedroom, one outside the bedrooms in the hallways, one on the main floor, one in the basement. Very important to have working smoke alarms. They do save lives. Carbon monoxide alarms are also a big thing that I go in to make sure that people have those. We recommend one on every floor for a carbon monoxide alarm.
So, with more people spending more time at home, and I worry about some of the kids that are left at home as well. Maybe, they have like a 11-year-old brother and, an 8-year-old, and the parents, they think, okay, they're old enough to be left at home. But if a fire starts, how important is that fire escape plan, but also for the kids?
Oh, yeah, a fire escape plan is essential in your home, and I talk about that with kids in schools, and when I go to the homes of our residents here for smoke alarms, I'll do a home safety survey, and we'll talk about all the different aspects in your house. And yeah, exit drills in your home are so important um, for young people to understand that there's two ways out of every room: the door and then a window. We talk about the escape ladders. And if you're on a second floor, considering an escape ladder. Very, very important that you practice that plan. I tell our kids in schools that you guys they do fire drills in the schools all the time. And so I say, when you're at home, do a fire drill at home.
Yeah, especially now with so many kids remote learning.
Yes. Yeah. And you figure all the, all the time that they're extra time that they're there at home, there's find that time to carve out that time to do a fire drill in your home. I say
And
try it in the dark, do it in the evening when it's dark outside, and turn out the lights and try to escape your home just by feeling your way.
it is the most heartbreaking thing. I have, as a reporter, covered so many tragic stories of people that have died in fires. And a lot of times they didn't have a smoke detector, or it was going off when they were cooking. So they took the battery out and
Yeah.
just forgot to put it back in. And I know a couple years ago, there was the tragic story out of one of the Grosse Points where the two brothers um, passed away from after their house caught fire. And I think it could have been from the toaster. And it's important to have these plans, but also to do them so often that it becomes second nature.
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to know you want to know your house in the dark, because you may have to crawl through smoke. And you may, you want to know what door you're at when you're crawling through. Um, Going down the stairs, think about going down the stairs, and how you would travel downstairs in a smoke-filled environment. That's really important to think about. And then you've got the idea of basement fires. So we have some people that have rooms in the basement, and there are older homes that don't have those outdoor windows, the emergency egress windows that are now required by law for basements. It's so important that you know what to do. That main stairway, if that's your only egress out, if there's a fire in the basement, that could be a real problem getting out.
And John, I always get confused with the bedroom door. Is it leave it open at night or close it at night?
Yeah, great question. So we say close before you doze. So if you have a fire in your house, say in the kitchen, and your bedroom door is closed, that bedroom door will afford you time to escape. It'll keep the smoke and the heat out of your room and give you that time that you need to escape. Probably most likely through a window if you have a good sized fire. And statistically now they're showing that you only have a couple minutes to escape a fire, to where 30, 40 years ago, you had much more time to escape a fire with all of the plastics that are in everything in our home. It goes up, it creates a darker smoke. It's just not like it used to be, again, 30, 40 years ago.
That's good to know, and that's a good catch line as well. Close before you doze, because
I use it all the time.
back before, I think it was the other way around, right?
I always tried to keep my bedroom doors closed anyway, even before the close before you doze. But that you definitely want to keep your bedroom doors closed now today.
Well, John, it's been great having you with us. I always learn so much when someone from the fire department comes on and talks with us. Before we let you go, anything maybe we didn't touch on that you want to share as well?
Yeah, I just want to say to Mayor Barnett and the City Council here in Rochester Hills, they have been so supportive in the initiatives that the chief has brought forward. And we are trying everything we can to keep our residents safe, keep our firefighters safe. And our mayor and our council are right on board with that. And so I just wanted to make sure that we said thank you to them.
Well, and I'm sure they appreciate everything that you and all of the team members do over there at the fire department. So thank you to all of you as well, and stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you, Ronnie. We miss you on TV, by the way.
Well, thank you. See, now you just have to find me in a different way.
I know, that's right.
Well, you have a happy, enjoy dinner tonight. Are you going out?
I'm hoping to. I got to talk my wife into it, but yeah, hoping to.
Well, have a nice time out, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you.